So Nvidia stock investors actually got a nice Christmas present today, as we do have some new updates about the GB300, which is the Blackwell Ultra. So you're not going to want to miss this. And before we go anywhere, I just want to say thank you all for such a great year. Obviously, it's not the New Year's, but I just want to say thank you all for the support. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays with the family. Right. Hopefully you enjoy your time. And back to it. Today, we're going to do a very, very quick episode on some pretty cool updates. And tomorrow, we're going to go back to the grind. So make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out the pinned comment for a special offer at fool.com/Jose. And check out my free daily semiconductor newsletter, whatthechip.happened.com. You'll find the link down below. So let's get started.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so we can see today is Christmas and the market was closed, but the stock is sitting at about $140. So today's knowledge is actually coming from one of my favorite semiconductor analyst firm out there, and that is SemiAnalysis. SemiAnalysis has released so much information today, and their lead analyst, Dylan Patel, was just in the BG2 podcast, where we also collected a lot of information. So if you want to get the full details, I'm just going to cover some of the overviews in today's episode. Definitely check it out. They even have a free version with a lot of great information for those that don't want to pay. So with Nvidia stock, right, what's happening is we all know the Blackwell platform, right? The Blackwell is ramping up right now and shipping here in the Q1, full production. We keep hearing from Jensen. The next generation of this Blackwell is the Blackwell Ultra, which is going to be the GB300, the Grace Blackwell 300, or the Blackwell 300 if you just want to buy kind of the individual with no GPU with no CPU, right? So unfortunately, the GB200 has gotten a little bit, or the original Blackwell has kind of seen a few issues, right? We're seeing kind of masking issues. We're also seeing some other issues here and there that, while it may not seem like there are delays to the Blackwell platform, the Blackwell platform without some of these issues could have come out a lot sooner, right? And there are some other things impacting it. Overall, Blackwell 200 and GB200 is going to be an amazing product, but based on this new information that we got from SemiAnalysis, we are getting an update that the Grace Blackwell 300 and the B300 GPUs are coming out just 6 months after the Grace Blackwell 200 and the B200. So we should expect them to come out more in Q3 of calendar year of 2025, which is very, very bullish for a lot of reasons. First is this company is just innovating at such rapid pace. And I want to say this is probably the only main reason. NVIDIA's product is going to be the best for any type of solutions. Now, while it just seems like, hey, look, a small incremental upgrade from the GB200 to the GB300, the new GB300 and B300 GPUs are positioned as more than an incremental update, offering significant performance and architectural improvements. So usually, right, when you go from, like, let's say from within the same generation, but more to like an ultra or a super version, many people don't expect much changes, but that doesn't work for NVIDIA. When it comes to NVIDIA, even when they're doing kind of those incremental updates, it's gonna be a huge change in performance. And if we take a closer look, some of the key features here is, in paper, this gives you about 50% higher flops performance compared to the B200. And some of that is because this B300 is going to have higher TDP of roughly 1.4 kilowatts versus 1.2 kilowatts for the B200, right? So it's drawing a little bit more power compared to its predecessor, the GB200 and the B200 line. So that's one of the reasons for the power performance. Then there's also power sloshing between CPU and GPU, which is kind of a really cool dynamic power allocation that NVIDIA has kind of, I think, even used in some other consumer products as well. So that's kind of some ways that they're going to get better performance over time. But a huge advancement is coming from memory enhancement. They're going to be upgrading from a 12-high HBM3E memory, raising capacity per GPU to about 288 gigs. Now, this is much higher, especially since right now we're using 8-high HBM3E. And I want to say this is very bullish for memory companies, right? Because 12, even though it's still HBM3E, going from 8-high to 12 high is something that you need innovative technology to be able to do. And that's why I personally believe that right now, the memory market is not what your typical memory market has been, where typically the memory market has been very commoditized. I've always complained about the memory market being very commoditized because there was no real need for true innovations at such a rapid pace. But right now, with this huge advancement in AI, it's forcing memory companies to innovate fast like Nvidia. And because you're innovating fast as Nvidia, it's kind of creating a moat within itself that only the best out of the best could survive, right? Where previously, because there wasn't a huge push in innovation, even those typical slackers, maybe those B students, those C students, were still able to get hundreds in exams. But now it's only a time where the only true A plus students are the ones that are going to be able to ace every single test, right? And I think that's creating a huge moat because now there's only really two players in this space. That is Micron Technology and SK Hynix. So I've talked about it in the past. I think Micron is looking pretty attractive with that overall stock price decrease. Now, one of the reasons for a huge change here with the B300 is even though it's just an incremental update, this is built more for reasoning model inferencing and long sequence LLM training, which is very crucial for applications like OpenAI's O3 models, right? And this is actually another unique case of why ASIC solutions can sometimes be dead weight, right? Because the way AI models and large language models were before these kind of inference thinking might not work as well for this new style. And this is something that obviously GPUs can adapt to pretty quickly, but maybe an ASIC solution, this completely could change the workload, which could make those more or less efficient, more inefficient, could also be said, I believe. But overall, this is why cloud providers need to continue to buy NVIDIA GPUs, right? Because you don't know what the next type of model might need, what the next type of model could use. So if you have something that's not programmable, like typical ASICs, then you're going to have a lot of dead weight in forms of ASIC solutions where you would be better off purchasing programmable units like NVIDIA GPUs. Next, some other economic impacts and hyperscaler benefits. The first thing is the GB300 offers more flexibility for kind of customers, these hyperscalers, to design their own custom boards and optimize their own configuration, which in my opinion is going to drive a lot more needs. Previously, for the GB200, NVIDIA was kind of providing everything and kind of creating more of like, hey, look, you're only going to be able to use these stuff. And some hyperscalers might have not liked that. And NVIDIA is saying, okay, maybe we go back to this approach. It also means we have to worry about less things because we don't have to provide the whole board. We can actually let custom boards be created, and it's obviously going to open up more realm of opportunity. And in my opinion, even more demand for those customers that say, hey, look, we can actually do better off by doing this. And we're going to increase our demand of Blackwell because it's becoming a little bit more of an open source when it comes to designing their boards. There's also other things that can improve here, like, for example, water cooling integration and kind of total cost of ownerships for operators like Amazon can improve over time, as some hyperscalers might be a lot better at designing boards themselves. Now, with this huge shift in supply chain, there are some players that end up being winners. Obviously, those players that used to create kind of the whole original board for the B200 or the GB200 are going to lose a lot of market share because now it opens up the opportunity for other players to be used. So obviously great to understand this. Definitely read the article to learn more about who can benefit and who cannot benefit. Personally, I'm really more focused kind of in just NVIDIA in general. And I believe Micron is definitely going to be another big player here that can benefit in this memory space. But obviously you can have things like compute board market. You can have things like voltage regulator markets if you're focusing in power individual companies right now. So that's another benefit out there if you are in those other semiconductor players. Now, there are some challenges and downside to NVIDIA kind of creating more of an open board design. The first thing is it requires hyperscalers to invest in design, validation, and customization of boards and cooling solutions. The second is because of this, it's going to be a variability in the deployment speed among hyperscalers. During this analyst, SemiAnalysis mentions that unfortunately, Microsoft might be one of the slower ones to do so. And for that reason, Microsoft might just stick to ordering a lot GB200s at the beginning and becoming maybe a big player of the GB200 as they work with the team to really focus on designing something great for the B300. But it seems like when it comes to board design, maybe Microsoft is not the best player. I mean, they're definitely not the best player when it comes to ASIC solutions either. But something to note there, some big players, obviously, that I believe in the big tech market that are great at silicon design are Amazon for sure and Google. Those, in my opinion, are the two big cloud players that are moving in the right direction. And with the B300 being more custom design opposed to a full package, it kind of gives the opportunity for those two to shine. And I think many people will sleep on Google. Many people were sleeping on Amazon, but those are definitely some that can win in this space. So I think that's all kind of the overview. There's so much more information that you can find out. Like I mentioned, check out SemiAnalysis. This is not a sponsor by them, but I just want to give hats to them. A lot of great information, a lot of great free information as well. Obviously, if you want another semiconductor newsletter, check out mine. whatthechipHappened.com. The link is down below. So again, hopefully everybody had a great holiday. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. My son got spoiled with so many gifts. And I just want to say thank you guys for the opportunity for me to be able to do what I do, because it definitely allows me to spend a lot of time with my family. And I am truly grateful. That to me is such a great gift to be able to have during this holiday season. But the holiday season doesn't stop me. I'm going to keep working. I enjoy working as well. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this late Christmas video. Peace out. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have done it in a more festive apparel. So take care. Have a good day and see you all tomorrow.